But Chad, we got some hot takes for you this week. Are you ready? I want to
Yeah, I mean,
see.
I'm the hottest take in the room, but whatever you want to say.
What's up, everybody? This is episode 19 of the Next on Deck podcast. I'm your host, Dylan, and then I got my co-host Ryan with me. Ryan, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing dandy.
Oh, well, that's what we love to hear. We got a lot on the docket today. Uh, a lot went down this past week. We got NFL draft trades. We got the NFL adding another game to the season, so now they have 17 games. We got a new segment on the show called Game Set Judgment, which is, can be changed name-wise, but basically the basis of it is that we make game picks for the week. We kind of talk about it, and then in the next episode, we'll go over those game picks, and we'll see how we did. And if we're wrong on one, we got to do a punishment. Obviously, we don't got a lot of people watching, so I can't really ask the viewers to make one. I mean, you're welcome to, if you want to, and we will for sure do that. Well, within reason, we'll do that, or at least within reason, I'll do that punishment. Ryan will probably do almost anything.
No reason necessary.
But, if we don't get a viewer opinion, then we'll just come up with it ourselves. And then, we'll do the same thing. This will be like an every week thing. So I'm kind of excited for that. And then MLB season starts tomorrow. So obviously, we got to talk about season preview, see what kind of teams we think are really going to surprise the MLB, and, just kind of excel this year. So I know, we'll keep that segment a little shorter because I know Ryan's not the biggest baseball guy, but, we got to throw it in, me being as big of a baseball fan as I am. Then we got best and worst NBA trade deadline moves. Then we'll talk about Andre Drummond and LaMarcus Aldridge. Kind of talk about who was a better signing by the Lakers or the Spurs. In our last segment, we got hot takes with Chad, which is another new segment that I think Ryan will especially appreciate, hopefully. So wait till the end there. That's a pretty funny segment where Ryan is just being Ryan, but I'll do one hot take from each sport each week, and we'll have Chad or Ryan's alter ego, kind of react to it and see what Chad thinks. So, but again, just to start out, NFL draft trades. There was some swapping of picks last week for the NFL draft, with the 49ers moving up 9 spots to the 3rd pick. The Dolphins are now the 6th pick, and the Eagles have the 12th pick. The Dolphins and the Eagles both added a future first-round pick in the trades with the 49ers and, the Dolphins. And the 49ers have their highest draft pick since 2017, trading, the pick with the Bears, who, was Mitchell Trubisky. So they kind of made out there. But Ryan, do you think this is a good move for the 49ers to move up to 3? What did you think of that trade?
I think it depends on what they have in mind. I think as we see now, it looks like if they're moving up to 3, they probably want that quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they're going for a quarterback, that was a great move on their part. I mean, number 3, they're gonna have a lot of good options. I mean, Trevor Lawrence will be gone. Obviously, we can't assume they'll get
Right.
that. But after that, there's still some really solid quarterbacks that pick number 3 is going to get them a good shot at.
Yeah, and, obviously I'm not really surprised by this move because 49ers are always wheeling and dealing. It seems like they're always making moves, no matter if they're, 2-14 or 14-2, So I'm not surprised by this. Obviously, there's kind of been rumors around the league, that they're kind of done with Garoppolo. There's been some trade rumors there. So, obviously this trade makes sense for them. And, they do it in making a quarterback because, you have Sewell, one of the top offensive linemen. You could argue probably one of the best in the past couple of years in this draft. He's obviously going to be available, and, the 49ers, it can't hurt to add an offensive lineman to a team, but considering that they re-signed Trent Williams and they got Alex Mack from the Falcons, their line seems pretty good as it is, so I don't think they would give up 2 first-round picks just to get an offensive lineman. So honestly, their options are probably Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones, who I did not think they should. If they're going to pick Mac Jones, like you wouldn't think they would have had to trade up that high to get him, right? Like
No,
there's no way
absolutely
he's going
not.
to go.
Mac Jones still would have been there.
Yeah. So, but the crazy thing is that I've only seen the 49ers like rumored to pick him.
Yeah.
That's the
I don't
crazy
know
thing.
why.
I mean, like I've heard Mac Jones is kind of a wild card to me because it seems like he can either go top 10 or drop all the way to the first round or the end of the first round. And I don't really understand why you would pick him top 10. I mean, don't give me, obviously good quarterback. I think he's kind of already NFL ready, just the style he plays. But like, I don't see him going top 5. But apparently the 49ers might make that happen. But I mean, Ryan, I think the 49ers should take Trey Lance.
I agree. I think Trey Lance is the best option. I think Justin Fields obviously looks really good on paper. He's got great numbers and stuff, but I just don't see the way he plays being NFL ready. I think Trey Lance is more ready to step into that game style.
Yeah, and I think he fits the 49ers better, to be honest. And, Fields is from Ohio State. Seems like Ohio State quarterbacks don't really translate that well to the NFL. I mean, look at Haskins. I mean, the Steelers signed him on a minimum deal just a couple years after he was drafted. So, and I think and Lance has more potential, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong. I think Fields is going to be a decent NFL quarterback, but I think Trey Lance has more potential. And, when you're making that kind of move, I think you do take a risk on a guy like Trey Lance. So, yeah, I think they're gonna probably pick Mac Jones, which is crazy to me because I didn't think he would be picked inside the top 15, to be honest. But it seems like they might pick Mac Jones, but Ryan, another team that kind of made an interesting move was, the Eagles. The Eagles traded down 6 spots and in return got a first-round pick next year, which I'm an Eagles fan. I think I might be a little disappointed because it might be exciting to have that high of a draft pick again. But, I still get a first-round pick next year and we still have a pretty high draft pick. So, Ryan, well, what do you think of this move? What do you think the Eagles are planning to do at 12?
I don't know. I think at 12 there's still potential to be some good player. Obviously, some really good players. I think they, obviously a big issue with the Eagles is just receiving core.
Right.
And at 12, there are still going to be some big name receivers, I think, going to be on the table. So they could still get that. I was a little bit surprised to see that. I thought they would have tried to go earlier to get like a top tier receiver kind of thing, is just what I pictured. So it's a little bit surprising to hear that move. But I don't think that they're completely out of the water on who they can get there at 12, though it's still a high pick.
Right. And, thinking, especially with the 49ers moving up, guarantees them picking a quarterback. And I think the Eagles thought about it because, when you have that high of a draft pick and Jalen Hurts he's not guaranteed to be the real thing. I mean, from what he's seen, from what, he's shown the Eagles, he's shown that he can, put up good numbers, and that's why they traded Carson Wentz. But I think they kind of realized that the 49ers are going to take a quarterback. So best comes to worst, Justin Fields or Trey Lance is like they'll only have one like really good top 10 quarterback left. And I don't think they want to, be forced to make that decision. So I can kind of see that there. But, they still had a pretty good chance at like Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts, who they really need on that offense. If they could use a weapon like that, because I'm sorry, Jalen Roger, but you're no Jamar Chase. So, I was kind of surprised by this, but, at 12, they can still get probably – I think Devonta Smith will still be there. He's kind of dropped, I think, in the mock drafts because of his weight. Because, he's only 170. I weigh more than Devonta Smith. I'm 5'11", a 5'11" white kid. So, yeah. So, the teams above them, like – the Giants, the Bengals, and the Lions are kind of the teams that would pick a receiver. But I think it looks like Sewell might be there for the Bengals at 5 if the Falcons don't take him, because the Falcons are really the only team that are at risk of taking him there. So I think the Bengals can take him. So because they're, in my mind, there's 3 top receivers: there's Waddle, Smith, and Chase. And I think the Eagles still believe that one of them will be available at 12, and they get a first-round pick out of it. So, it's kind of a win-win. And honestly, even if the receivers aren't there, you could still go online. There's a great offensive lineman from Northwestern that's, ranked number 2. I don't think that would be a bad move either. So, we'll see what the Eagles do, but it seems like the Dolphins really made out here. I mean, they dropped 3 spots, and I think they got multiple. They got a first round, third round. I don't know what they got from the Eagles. But, I mean, they're probably going to pick the same guy they would at 6 that they are at 3. So, the Dolphins were really, obviously made out here. I'm excited for the NFL draft. Hopefully, Ryan, we can go because they're letting fans in, and it's in Cleveland, so that's only 2 hours away from us. That would be
not bad at all.
Oh, I know. We can experience the Steelers picking another washed corner, probably.
Oh, thank goodness.
And another
third-round receiver
Burns
somehow turns good.
An Artie Burns flashback. But we'll see. We're still Ryan, we'll probably go. We'll just chant Najee Harris the entire time.
Yeah, we'll just wear Najee Harris jerseys.
Exactly. Not even when the Steelers are drafting, it'll be like, and with the first pick in the NFL draft, then we'll just go Najee. Like we'll just chant Najee Harris.
Yes.
So hopefully the Steelers will catch on to our chants, but yeah. So on to the next thing, the NFL for some reason thought it was a good idea to make a 16-game season, which is arguably already long enough for the NFL, into 17 games. Ryan, what did you think of this change? Why do you think they did this?
I think they just did it for money. I mean,
yeah.
It just adds another game for them to make money. And, I'm not going to complain personally because, it's one more weekend of football.
Right.
I'm not going to say no to it.
Exactly. And, I don't know if you saw, but one of the added games is Colts-Buccaneers.
Ooh.
So, I mean, that's a great game. But then I also saw some other games. It was Jets-Eagles and, just some terrible games. But, I mean, hey, I expect Zach Wilson to put up MVP numbers by then.
Sure.
Right? I mean,
exactly.
He's got Corey Davis. That's all he needs.
They'll be a Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I think this is purely a money move. I think, from COVID, them not really making much money from fan attendance. And honestly, they probably merchandise is, I think, a little down too. But, the NFL is still a corporation, and they're making corporation decisions, so you can't totally blame them. But, hey, as a fan, I'm not going to complain. It's like you said, it's another week to watch football. I think a lot of the players are kind of pissed off about it because it's not like they're getting pay raises from this, I mean, they already make enough money as it is. So in my mind,
I'd hate to make $20 million and have to work 17 weekends a year.
have to work one extra week for 3 hours. So I mean, I get it from the standpoint of it's another game for them to get injured, But in my mind, if you're a playoff team, just bench them.
Yeah, you're doing that anyway.
Exactly. So most of the guys that are complaining probably won't even play that game anyway.
Yeah.
They'll just maybe that's why they're complaining because they don't want to sit on the bench for a week that they don't have to like that. So, all right. So it's time for the new segment, Game Set Judgment, where we do game picks through a couple of picks throughout the week. Different sports. And if we're wrong, next episode we are judged and must face a punishment picked by the other person or a viewer if we get a viewer opinion. So I want to do the most important games of this week. And Ryan, obviously, we got to start off with March Madness. And because the Final Four is, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's on Saturday, I think is the first game. Saturday, Sunday. So first game we got is Houston Baylor. So Ryan, who you got winning that game?
I'm going to have to say, I think, man, it's tough. I think Baylor will win it. I think it's going to be a really good game. Houston's rebounding is insane. They have so many second chance shots. They carry that team with that rebounding.
They had 18 offensive rebounds against Oregon.
It's crazy.
I mean, that was the only reason they won that game. They only shot 32% from the field, and they had 18 offensive rebounds. So, yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you. Baylor's just on fire from three. They have such a great shooting team. They shot 53% from three. in the last game against Arkansas, and they only had 8 turnovers, which is pretty impressive as a team. So
Yeah.
I think, even though Baylor has a pretty small lineup, and I think the only way Houston's going to win is if they do dominate the boards and can shoot at least like 45% from the field. I think if they shoot 32%, there's no way they beat Baylor.
No way. Plus, they gave up the ball so many times that last game.
Right. Yeah. So I'm going to agree with you. I think Baylor's got this one in the bag here. So they'll have the ticket to the championship, but in a surprise upset last night, actually, because normally we film these on Tuesday. So originally I had Gonzaga versus Michigan, but
Yeah, you had no faith. No faith.
I had no faith in the Cinderella team. So UCLA surprised me. In the poll that I put out on Instagram, it was like 50-50, which really surprised me. But Dylan once again was wrong. So the other game is Gonzaga UCLA, and I wrote here, even if UCLA, it's not going to matter which one of those teams won, in my opinion. Gonzaga looks too good.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be no question that UCLA is going to win.
Brian, I appreciate your luck in the Cinderella team, but is that your real pick? Because
that's my real pick. I've got UCLA. They're playing strong.
We're playing with fire now. We have a consequence if we're wrong here.
I regret nothing that I'm about to say to you.
Okay.
I think UCLA is the team now. They're the team.
Okay.
Gonzaga's too hot.
Wow, Blueburn would be up in flames right now.
He would, and I hope he sees this.
I hope, I might just edit this clip out and just send it to him, just like DM it to him on Instagram or something, just so he sees at least this part of it.
Good.
But I'm going to agree with Blueburn. I think Gonzaga looks too good. They're I think this is one of the best college teams we've seen in a while. Ryan, I know they're undefeated, so maybe the pressure will get to them. But, Drew Timme has been insane in the post. His facial hair.
Dude, I could take Jalen Suggs in a one-on-one any day. Like, he's nothing. He's all this hype for nothing.
Look, Ryan, I think you could probably sack him at when he played quarterback in high school, but there's no way you would body him for sure. You're a big boy, but I'm sorry, but Jalen Suggs is too good. He creates the most wide open shots for his teammates. It's insane. Gonzaga's taking great shots. They're playing excellent defense. I don't see a team that can beat them right now. So I think Gonzaga is going to take this one easy. They've won like all their games by at least 10 or 15. So they haven't had any competition. I don't think UCLA is going to bring that competition. As much as I want to see Gonzaga go down, just because, March Madness is always fun to see the Cinderella team win. I think Gonzaga is going to take that one here. But
it's in the script. It's too scripted. Gonzaga can't win legally.
Yeah, it's crazy with how many upsets there have been this year that, there's still 2 1 seeds of 2. An 11 surprising, but it was almost 3 1 seeds. So,
yeah,
it's been a crazy March Madness, but yeah, I think Gonzaga is going to take it all. But the next game we're going to shift to the NBA, which the game's actually tonight. It's Bulls versus the Suns. So, Ryan, who do you have in that game?
I have the Suns taking that game. I haven't seen that Michael Jordan guy play in a while for the Bulls. So if he's still out, then I think the Suns definitely have it. But no, for real, I think the Suns are going to take that game.
Yeah, I agree. The Suns are looking pretty good. I think, the addition of Chris Paul. Chris Paul seems to make any bad team into a top seed, and he still does it only averaging 16 points. He does a lot, that doesn't record on the stat sheet. But even with the Bulls adding Vucevic, which I think was a great move for them, LaVine I don't think he's gotten used to having that good of a player next to him yet, and he hasn't really played that well. He had 18 in the first game with Vucevic and then 12 in the second. Well, he usually averages like 28. So, I don't think, they've really gotten the chemistry down yet. I think, they will be a mid-tier playoff team in the East, but yeah, the Suns are at home. Booker's playing pretty well. Everybody healthy. I agree. I think the Suns are going to take that one here. So the other NBA game we got is Nuggets Clippers. So Ryan, who do you got in that one?
I think the Clippers. I like the way the Clippers have been playing. I think they're a good team, and I think it'd be a good game, but I think Clippers gonna win this one.
I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you here. I think the Nuggets are gonna take it. Paul George has been out the past 2 games. They got Patrick Beverley and Ibaka back. Oh, excuse me. But I think, with the addition of Aaron Gordon with the Nuggets, he fits in really nicely with that team. Michael Porter Jr. has been playing so much better lately. So I think I'm going to take the Nuggets here. So now we shift to baseball. On opening day, first game I got is Astros versus the A's. We got Zach Greinke pitching for the Astros and Chris Bassett pitching for the A's. So, Ryan, I know you don't know a ton about baseball, but I figured you've at least heard of Zach Greinke before.
Yeah.
So, I assume your pick is the Astros, but I'll still ask you, what's your pick?
Indeed it is.
Okay, it is the Astros. I think this is one of the more exciting games, and this is, why I still picked it. Obviously, it kind of sucks that we won't be able to see Verlander pitch for the Astros, with his injury. But I think I'm gonna take the A's here. They got Matt Chapman coming back from injury, and they're kind of pissed off because they had one of their best seasons last year without one of their best players. So, and I think especially since the A's are at home, this is the first time the Astros have really had a crowd since the big scandal. So I think they're going to be getting a lot of boos, and I think it's going to affect them. And and they also lost one of their best hitters in George Springer. So the Astros aren't going to be as good. So I see the A's taking this one. But last game I got is Mets Nationals on I put April 3rd. I think that's a Saturday, but you got Marcus Stroman pitching for the Mets. And a guy that you've probably heard of, Ryan, Steven Strasburg, pitching for the Nationals. So I don't want to assume, but are you taking Nationals here, or who you taking?
I am taking the Nationals, and actually, those are the kind of teams I wanted to talk about in our next segment. So.
Oh, okay. I'm glad to hear that you're actually excited to talk about baseball for once. But the Mets are arguably one of the most exciting teams this year. They made a lot of moves in the in the off season, getting Lindor. And, Stroman hasn't pitched in a while. He was out all last year. So I think people have really high expectations for them. So I think they're not going to be as good as people think, especially at first. So I think the Nationals are going to take this one, with Strasburg still being pretty strong and, the Mets just kind of adjusting to the new team. I just see the Nationals taking this one here. So that is all of our games that we picked this week. We're gonna, I don't know. We'll see what punishments we come up with. I'm kind of scared to get any games wrong because I know Ryan's not gonna have any mercy on me for whatever punishment I have to do. So I'm excited for that. So feel free to. Comment what punishment you want us to do if we're wrong, because we're almost guaranteed to get at least one game wrong. Because Ryan, I know you don't fuck up things a lot, but me, I'm always my only claim to fame for picks is staying true to the Bucks throughout the NFL playoffs. So none of the games were the NFL, so I'll probably be wrong in one of them, but yeah, we'll see. So we got the MLB opening day starting tomorrow. So, Ryan, who do you think is going to be the most improved team from last year? Going into this, who is going to surprise the MLB this year?
I think the Nationals are going to be a big surprise this year. I think they're going to do really well. I think their pitcher trio is crazy. I didn't read up a little bit on baseball now that I starting to care a little bit, but with Strasburg and Corbin and Scherzer, or however you say his last name, it's a pretty impressive trio. So I think that's going to be something that team itself is going to do really well.
Yeah, and the Nationals they took a big hit in losing Rendon last year, but they did a good job in the offseason kind of revitalizing that team and adding a couple young guys, like Josh Bell, Josh Harrison. And obviously Juan Soto, he hit 350 last year. I actually have him as the NL MVP candidate here. So I think he's going to have another MVP-like season, and he's going to lead that national offense. And like you said, they already have good enough pitching as it is. Their bullpen is pretty good too. So I could see the Nationals being the most improved team, but I think I might be a little biased here, but I'm gonna say the Phillies. I think the Phillies. I mean, I guess I say this every year, but they brought back Real Malto, which was the main thing we wanted to do. They brought back Didi, which is always good because Didi was great. He was the only guy who wore a mask the entire time he played. But we got a better pitching rotation than we did last year. A lot of the guys from last year underperformed. And, Ryan, most importantly, we have Alec Baum for a whole year, who finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting. So I'm really excited for this Phillies team, and I think they're going to do really well. But Ryan, what there's the teams that surprise people positively, and then there's the teams that surprise people negatively. So what team do you think is going to do bad this year?
I think the Mets are overrated. I think with all the moves they made in the offseason, it's not the moves they really wanted. It's good moves, but it's not the great moves they were hoping for. And also, they're just in a tough division. I mean, it's going to be hard to do well in that division anyway.
Yeah, the NL East is, arguably one of the best divisions in the MLB, especially, with the Nationals still having that core, the Braves still being as good as they are. And the Marlins are getting a little better. The Marlins are usually like the Knicks of the MLB. They have good players, and then, I don't know, they just get rid of them. But, yeah, I could see that one there. To be honest, I hate to say this because I'll probably be wrong, but I think the Rays are not going to do as well as people think. I still don't get why they traded Blake Snell. I still don't understand that trade. They just gave the Padres even more weapons than they actually needed. But I think, the Rays aren't going to be as good because the rookie who did really well in the playoffs, I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try. He had like a good stretch, and he's the reason why the Rays got to the World Series. But I don't see them doing the same thing, especially with the Blue Jays getting a lot better and, the Yankees still being the Yankees. I think they're just going to, kind of let people down. Out of guys that it will be their first year on the team, who do you think is going to have the best season?
Good question. Did Trevor Bauer get moved, or was he in the same team as last year?
No. He got moved. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do even better than last year. Even better. I know.
Dude,
I know.
I think he had. Hold on. I did write this down. He had a 1.73 ERA.
Yeah, and that was on a short season. I think the longer season
better than that.
Yes, it's a really, really surprising. Probably not going to go well for me in the long run take, but
and you don't know a ton about baseball, so I'll give it to you there. I think obviously Trevor Bauer's still going to have a really good year. Coming off a Cy Young award, and he's finally on he's on the best team in baseball now. So it's not the Reds anymore; it's the big time. He'll be pitching alongside Walker Buehler, so it's going to be a matchup nightmare for teams. But yeah, that's not the worst pick. But even though I hate the Mets and I want them to suck, and I think they will be kind of underwhelming this year, I still think Francisco Lindor is going to have a great year for the Mets. He's one of the best shortstops in baseball. And especially because I'm pretty sure he's a free agent at the end of the year because the Mets tried to extend him, but he declined 12 years, $325 million. So he wants a bigger deal than Mookie Betts got, which is pretty hard considering Mookie Betts is a top 3, player in baseball. So I think Lindor will have a pretty good year because, he does have to prove that he is worth the $400 million that he's asking for. So, we'll see how he does, but I think Lindor is going to be, really good this year. So, all right, well, that's kind of what I got for the MLB. So I'm excited for the season to start. Especially with the NBA with Embiid hurt, the Sixers just aren't as fun to watch. And they got clapped by the Nuggets last night. That was just a brutal game to watch. But so we're going to move back into the NBA. The trade deadline just happened. And, Ryan, I don't know if you knew, but it was funny. in our previous video when we talked about the NBA draft and, the guys that were rumored to get traded, none of those guys got traded. So it's kind of ironic. But, there's still some good and bad moves made. But, Ryan, what do you think were the best moves made at the NBA trade deadline?
I think the Magic did really well as a team in the trade deadline, not with like who they got now, but who they're going to get kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they set themselves up really well for a rebuild.
Yeah, I think they could have got more out of Evan Fournier. I mean, they only got 2 second-round picks for him, but, I mean, hey, he scored 0 points in, like, his first game playing, like, 35 minutes. So, what do I know? So, I agree. I think the Magic did pretty well trade-wise, but I think Norman Powell going to the Trailblazers, in my opinion, was one of the best moves. I know he was kind of a steep price because, he is having a breakout year, and, it was kind of a similar move the Sixers made a couple years ago with Tobias Harris. He was kind of having a breakout year, and they kind of gave up a decent amount for him. But I think Powell's going to be worth it. The Trailblazers, we talked about before, they needed to do something.
This is that second guy to get in there, I think.
Right, yeah. I mean, him and McCollum, and then having, the superstar in Dame, they're giving up a little bit of their depth, but I honestly think it's worth it here. Powell's really good on offense, really good scorer. So I think that was a good move by the Trailblazers. But, Ryan, what do you think were the worst moves of the NBA trade deadline?
I know you and I plan on talking about this a little bit later, but I have to agree with Blackburn that Aldridge was just a stupid pickup for the Nets. Yeah,
I think it was purely a kind of just name basis, just a, I don't know, just because. I feel like they just did it just because they could.
Yeah,
just because they could. I think Cousins would have been a better addition than Aldridge, especially because Aldridge is so bad defensively, and Cousins is pretty good. Well, he's a lot. I don't know if he's pretty good, but he's a lot better than Aldridge is on defense, and he still brings that same, offensive fire. So I agree with you there. But I think the worst move for me was Rondo going to the Clippers. I think the Clippers did need to make that move, but the only reason why I have it as one of the bad moves is because they gave up so much to get him. I mean, they gave up Lou Williams and 2 second-round picks for Rondo. The Celtics
Rondo's
only
good,
gave
but he's
up.
old.
He's old, and he's playoff Rondo, so he did pretty well for the Lakers last year, and he brings that veteran leadership that they kind of need because, Kawhi's not going to bring it just because he's kind of a quiet guy, but
he's a quiet guy.
Oh, that was a dad joke right there. But I just think I don't think it was a bad idea for Rondo to go to the Clippers, but I think they just gave up too much to get him. That's kind of the only reason why I have him as a bad move there. But and then kind of leewaying and to what you said about Aldridge, Ryan. The next thing I got is the Lakers picked up Andre Drummond, Cavs bought him out, and the Nets picked up LaMarcus Aldridge. And, they're probably, right now they're the top 2 teams, on paper at least, in the NBA. And, being in the East and the West, most people are probably picking them to be in the NBA Finals. But Ryan, who do you think was a better signing? I mean, I guess I already know what you're going to say based off of Aldridge being the worst move. But, who do you think was a better signing, Andre Drummond or LaMarcus Aldridge?
I think Andre Drummond. I think Drummond brings good. Like, his interior scoring is good for that team. He's definitely going to help there. And his rebounding is going to be a really big help for the Lakers. And then Aldridge is he's just an offense guy on an offense team. So if we can score 200, we can't lose, I guess, is the Nets' motto.
Right. And even, the Nets, they're just adding, more fuel to the fire and the fire is already 10 feet high, so they didn't really need Aldridge. I think this was purely just to have the most all-star appearances of any team ever, so I think it looks great on paper, but to me this move didn't really make sense. So, and Andre Drummond is still a really good quality player, still putting up, he's averaging a triple-double, one of the best rebounders of all time. Never hurts to add a guy like that to your team. And then, especially – and that puts Montrezl Harrell back on the bench where, he really excels. Because Montrezl Harrell is good, but I don't think he should be the starting center on that team. I don't think he really fits that well with Anthony Davis. So that moves Harrell back to the bench, which I think, obviously is the best spot for him. So Andre Drummond was clearly the better signing here. So now, Ryan, I would ask you, I thank you for being on the show today, but, I got another guest coming in. His name's Chad. Yeah. So
let me go get him.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
of
right.
course.
Yeah.
So, name's Chad.
What's up, Chad? I'm really glad you can make it on the show today. How you doing?
Yeah, man. My boy Ryan said you needed me. So.
Yeah. I mean, are you cool with doing this? I mean, I know you got a busy schedule with, getting bitches and drinking.
I just gotta go later, just get hose and play some beer pong,
Okay. As agreed upon, I will get you a 6-pack for being on the show, but I mean, I still, don't expect me to pay, or just send me, just have your dad, Venmo me.
Yeah, bro. My dad, my people will talk to your people,
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sounds good. But Chad, we got some hot takes for you this week. Are you ready? I want to see.
I mean, I'm the hottest take in the room, but whatever you want to say.
But Chad, we got some hot takes for you this week. Are you ready? I want to see.
I mean, I'm the hottest take in the room, but whatever you want to say.
I mean, I don't know. These takes are pretty hot, Chad. I mean, I know you get biddies, but we'll see. I want to hear your reaction because I respect your opinion a lot. With the kind of the image you kind of exude. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, so Chad, I know you don't really. I mean, I know you probably wear a couple baseball jerseys here and there, but I mean, the first guy I got, you'll probably recognize. First hot take I got, MLB, is I don't think Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to have the same year he had last year. I don't think he's going to put up the same numbers. I think he's going to have kind of a sophomore slump kind of year.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he came out of college, and obviously that's their best life. Our best life is college, and he was in that college year mindset. Even if I don't even know if he's in college or not, but he was in that age, and that's all that mattered. That's the prime of your life right there. He primed out right there. I
mean, he wasn't, but I mean, I'm sure he's still living the lifestyle for sure.
Exactly, it's the college lifestyle at that age. There's nothing you can do about it. And he came down one time to see me, but I was busy.
Yeah,
so I didn't want to talk to
him. Did he? I mean, that's the only baseball jersey I've seen. You wear is Tatis. So did he give you that jersey?
He dropped it off for me. He said,
"Oh wow,
he needed it for a game," and I said, "Actually, it's mine." He said, "All right." I think that he's not gonna. Season's too long. Season's too long now. It was too short last year. He looked too good.
Yeah, I agree. I think he won't be able to. He won't be able to keep it up. Throughout the entire year. Right. So, well, Chad, I'm man. All right, 1 for 1. I'm glad we agree on this. Okay.
Yeah.
Second one I got, NBA, excluding the injured players. So, Chad, before you freak out at me, this is not including LeBron, Anthony Davis, KD, or Embiid. All right, none of those guys. I think right now Damian Lillard is a top 3 player in the NBA.
My boy Dame time. He doesn't do it like I do. I definitely make more shots when I yell Dame time than he does. So I just can't put him up there. I can't.
So are you putting yourself in the top 3, or
I'm saying if I was in the NBA, I'd be in the top 3. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But I mean, Chad,
But I'm not.
Who's in the top 3 if Dame's not right now?
James Harden.
Okay, I'll agree with you there. I think he's there.
Are you considered Kyrie to be injured?
I mean, no, but
cool. He's not up there either. I was just asking.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say he might be mentally injured, but
no,
I think he's
busy that day.
Okay. Well, I mean, who else are you putting up there? Like maybe Curry or Giannis? Like who do you think is better than Dame right now?
Well, obviously my boy Curry. Like you don't yell Dame when you throw papers in trash cans. Like
right,
that's top 3 player right there.
Okay, I'll give you that. Curry could be up there, but I don't think Giannis is better than Dame right now.
I think you're wrong.
Why am I wrong, Chad?
I feel like Giannis is carrying the Bucks stronger than Dame is carrying the Blazers.
The Bucks are sucking right now. They're the 4th seed. They're usually the 1 seed. I mean, the Trailblazers.
What seed are the Blazers?
They're also the 4th seed, but usually they're the 8th seed. But usually they're the 8th seed, so they're up 4 seeds, and the Bucks are down 3.
How can a top 3 player be on a not top 3 team?
Well, Curry, you just said Curry was up there, and he's not on a top 3 team. All right,
Yeah.
I think Chad's just a little hazed right now, but yeah, okay. I mean, that's my take there. But Chad, I think you're really gonna appreciate my last one I got in the NFL. I think you're gonna like this one because I know we're both Steelers fans, but I think the Steelers should pick up Richard Sherman if they got the cap space to do it. That's really, in my mind, that's the only decision they have to make is if they have the room for him.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one.
Yeah, because, we lost Mike Hilton. We released Steven Nelson. And, our first-round pick's already reserved for Najee Harris. So,
Exactly.
And Richard Sherman's still a free agent, and it doesn't seem like he has a ton of options because, he's asking for a lot of money. But, he is older, so he's a risk. But, with Ben's last year, I think he's a risk we got to take.
Yeah, coming out of last year, my dad asked me if I wanted to go to some of the games because he's got boxed seats on the bench.
And, I was gonna say I already figured. Oh, on the bench. So would you be talking with Sherman?
It's a box on the bench, bro. It's waxy. Yeah. I'll call Sherman up. One time, I went to a Sherman Williams mattress company, and he was there because Sherman.
Well, obviously, yeah.
My dad owns those too, if you didn't know.
I figured.
Yeah. So I think he'd be good. Make that defense strong.
Okay. Well, Chad, I'm glad to have you on. I won't waste any more time. I know you got to play some Pong. I know you got a long day ahead of you, but could you just get Ryan before you leave? Just get him back in. I just wanted to conclude the show with him.
Yeah, I don't really do anything for anyone, but if I see him on the way out, I'll let him know.
Hold on. Chad, what if I let me think. What would make you get Ryan? I don't know what to get him or to get you.
Can you give me some natter days, bro? Get that darty going.
But I'm already getting you a 6-pack. You want?
Yeah, bro. But that's you give me a 6-pack of Bud. That's a night beer. I need a day beer.
All right, fine. I'll get you some natter days.
I'll start in the morning.
Oh my God. Okay, Chad. Just get Ryan. Just get Ryan. Come on, dude. I know you're chilling right now, but bro, come on. Oh, hey, but fucking thank God, dude. Fucking Chad. Oh my God. He agreed with my takes, but fuck, he was so. He wanted me to get him a 30 rack of natter days just to get you. Did he tell you that?
Bro.
While he's like, oh, I'm getting the natties.
Bro, he didn't even tell me to come over here. I just assumed when I watched him leave.
So I'm not getting him. I'm not getting him the natter days then because he didn't even do what I said. Oh my God. Okay, but Ryan, thank you for coming on the show today. Thank you for bringing your boy Chad along. I appreciate it. I'm excited for our punishments next week to see what you're going to make me do and probably what I'm going to have to make you do because you did pick UCLA, so I know you're going to lose at least one there. But thank you again, everybody, for watching Next on Deck, and we'll see you next week.